So we're filming this obviously with your consent, and we're going to go on a journey together. So for me, before I want to hear about your story, because people are going to watch this as well. I know your story. You're going to tell me more. I want everyone else to know a little bit about you and your story before we kind of get into it today. Really, my purpose in doing this with you is there's different ways of dealing with addiction, right? Most people will do 12-step programs, or they'll go to rehab. It works for some people. I think it works for about 5% of people if we look at it statistically, AA and NA. And whatever works for people is whatever works for people. Whatever gives them relief is whatever gives them relief. But I don't know, if I went to Vegas and I had some money and I was going to bet it, and I only had $1 million. That's all I ever had. And I had a 5% chance of keeping my money and making some, and a 95% chance of potentially losing it all. I probably wouldn't go to that crap table. I'd probably go somewhere else. So I just wanted to demonstrate a different way, a gentler way, a way that's less intrusive, that doesn't take however long it takes the average person to do the 12 steps. It doesn't cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars like the average rehab place will cost. I think in North America, it's 60 to 100 grand for a 2-week stay. So I wanted to show that there's a different one. I want to document this with you, with a real person going through some stuff, not a stooge, not somebody who's an actor. And you're going to tell your story in a minute, and people will know that you're for real. So I'm going to be working with Scotty over a period of time to help him overcome his addiction, specifically to alcohol. We're starting today. This is the first session. If you wouldn't mind telling people a little bit about your story, why you're here, what the addiction is, how it's affecting you, and what you've tried so far that hasn't stopped the addiction.
Well, I'm Scotty. Thank you very much, Luke, again for this. I'm anxious. It's been a long journey with the drink and drugs and gambling. Pretty much any addiction. I mastered it, and it's taken me to the depths of the hell, really. My main struggle, thank the good Lord, and this is the way I know him, that I was able to beat my drug addiction, but that was going through rehab and detox and NA. I don't have those same cravings anymore. My major issue is, and always has been, alcohol. And it's become very apparent to me, especially in the last, I would say, 5 or 6 years. But I've had this addiction well over 20. I'm 37 right now. I had my first drink, I believe I was about 12 or 13. And I'd stolen a bottle of wine off the table and brought it home. And I hid downstairs, played video games at like midnight, and drank this bottle of wine. It's just, I was hammered, but I didn't really even understand what hammered was at the time. I felt really good. So from there, it sort of led to, stealing some beers from my dad and whatnot at night, and like drinking them in my room in the closet and hiding the tins and everything. And then as soon as we hit high school, maybe grade 8, somewhere between going into grade 8, grade 9, which I have a daughter in high school right now. Sorry.
Don't be sorry. It's all good, man.
So it really started for me in the high school years, and it was like drinking to the point where we were stealing like 60s and 26ers and 40s of hard alcohol and beer and just about anything we could get our hands on. And I would just drink just to like black out. I was always the first one to grab the drink and the last one to black out or pass out. And it ended up leading into, my later years, my 1920s, when I was old enough to go into the bars. I was at the bars every night, getting polluted, absolutely hammered. I was having a great time. I like to sing, and I'm always the center of attention and the life of the party, quote unquote. And, back then it was all normal, or it seemed normal. I never really thought it was affecting anything. Brooklyn was born in my early 20s. She's 14 now. That's my daughter. And her mother and I actually have a decent relationship. And we are parents of a teenager right now. And the struggles are real. Her and I split when Brooklyn was very young. I then drank heavily alone, to the point where it was affecting my daily grind. I had ran a automotive accessories store in town here, and it wasn't uncommon for me to be hungover going into work, or having a drink or two before I had to go to work to just like calm my shakes and do that. I'm not sure how I hit it so well, but again, the alcoholism started catching up. The drugs were also kind of always back and forth, going hand in hand with each other. And then it got to the point where I was going out every night. I was meeting people. I was starting to fit into the new town I was in. And then it just became like a bigger problem. So I was drinking, a lot more, harder, faster, getting kicked out of bars, getting in lots of fights, getting in trouble with the police many times. Sorry to the Collingwood OPP. I've kept them on their toes for many years. And I know there's a few of them that follow my Facebook stories. From there, I managed to get into another a long-term relationship where it was again a lot of drinking. And now that the children are getting older, and they're starting to witness the hard effects of alcoholism, where one minute I could be like fine and be super dad, and then we'd get home, or I'd get home from work, and then by 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, tired, and I'm hammered, and I'm a dick, absolute dick. Vacations, we vacation quite a bit, and I would spend most of my time hammered, blacked out, not knowing what happened, having the kids looking at me in shock and awe, and I had no idea what I was doing. And then came the time my brother had passed away. So I had recently, we just celebrated his fifth anniversary of his passing a couple of days ago, and when that happened, it was no holds. I was gone. I wasn't even I was on a 5-year. You couldn't even call it a bender. Like it's been horrible. To describe it, you can't even. It's very hard to put it into words. Just how badly one person can destroy everything due to a substance. It's wrecked my family, my mom, dad. I was homeless for a period of time. I was in and out of jail, in and out of the drug tank. Nobody knew what to do with me. They had to just lock me away because it was like if anybody saw me out, it was bad. It was not a bad. It wasn't good. My daughter had seen me, fall down drunk, passing out, coming home, with bloody knuckles and not knowing what had happened. And I also there was also a pretty traumatic point in my life when I was in school where I had a lot of family members perish in a car accident, and that was traumatizing. So I've been through like grief counseling, therapy. I've tried a lot of different ways. I've been in and out of detox and rehabs. I've been in and out of AA, NA, CA, NEA, the Canadian way. And I was just actually released from a short-term detox facility. I was actually in Toronto celebrating a birthday party with somebody I've been seeing. Well, was seeing. There's again the past tense. When the alcoholism, I was with her for 7 months, and getting out of Collingwood and kind of out of my shell and getting to the big city. And it's something I haven't done in a while. I was really excited, and I drank myself silly on the buses and on the train. And by the time I got there, her mother's there, and her brother, like her whole family was there. Her grandmother, or gran, and I mean, it was her birthday her birthday party, and I was a mess. I was a disaster for 2 days. I would just drink and steal any kind of alcohol I could get my hands on. And that goes in, like, that includes like, mouthwash. There was a point where I've even, I drank hairspray, vanilla extract, like just anything, just to numb out everything that goes on in my mind. And I mean, when I've been sober now, this is going to be day 3. I've been doing my journaling. I've been triggered multiple times, one being, major trigger, late last night, early this morning, and, up to 20 minutes ago. And the thought is always there, just to go by it. I had suffered, going back 2 years ago, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I had suffered a few head injuries, back to back, which were one was very, very severe. Again, there wasn't really alcohol involved on my part, but the people that had jumped me, they had been drinking, and probably on the drugs.
Was it concussion?
I've had multiple concussions over the course of the year, but I had two pretty severe ones that were within 3 months of each other. Yeah.
Okay.
So that was about 2 years ago. So it had affected my speech immensely, and it also affected a lot of like mobility. So it was a challenge to overcome that. And funny enough, I did some hypnotic therapy with another mutual friend, and it helped. It really made a big difference, and that's where I always believe, like, this is one of the greatest opportunities for me to try and just.
Your microphone is switched off.
Sorry.
That's all right. You just cut off the last 10 seconds.
Oh, I tried to block the calls here coming in. I'm not sure why it rang through. I have it on mute and everything. Okay. That's what I was hoping wouldn't happen.
Are we on your computer, or are we on your phone?
We're on my phone. Yeah, my laptop.
Maybe go to notifications or do not disturb. Maybe hit do not disturb. That's what I do on my phone, and then no calls will come through until you switch it off.
Yeah, I thought I went through and did that actually. Notifications, sounds, vibrations, silent mode. Yeah, do not disturb's on. I'm not sure why that rang through.
All right.
I'm not sure. Okay.
And, if anything else happens, we'll think of another way around it. All right. Okay. So where are we? We're at the concussions, some head injuries from a few years ago, into a scuffle you got into in the street. Continue.
And recently, after the stint in Toronto, I put myself back into a detox facility, which I just got out of last week.
Okay.
at that facility, it was a complete eye opener. There was a lot of young people in there.
Yeah.
And just a tad older than my daughter. And I mean, they were heavily addicted to heroin, meth. You know, I was just so brought back to like, holy smokes. My daughter will not talk to me. We have to mend the relationships. I have to be sober, and I have to make something work to build it up. And I don't want my daughter to experience what alcoholism really does to a person. She's seen it, but she's starting to follow the same sort of trends now, and she's at the age now where, you know, she's being offered, you know, different things, and things are getting stronger, and drink, and like the drugs are getting heavier and getting cut with different things. I just don't want her. I don't want her to get addicted to anything like this, and have to do this herself.
So you came back from rehab, what, 3 days ago, did you say?
It was the 28th or 29th.
Yeah, so we're recording this on the 6th, so about 10 days ago or so. It was rehab for alcohol. Since
Correct.
you've been back, have you drank?
Yes. So
right.
the day I got back, I didn't.
Yeah.
The following night, I had a massive trigger. Just with my my business that I had in town starting up again and really rocking. We ended up we had lost our location. And I was crushed. I drank, and I was on medication, and the two and two just didn't coincide together.
Yeah.
So I kind of that was another blackout night.
Right.
I believe I actually got a drunk in public ticket that night as well, which I have many of them. I couldn't count how many of those I have.
So you went to rehab. How long were you in the rehab for? The last one?
I believe 16 days.
16 days, all right. And you didn't drink for 16 days, right?
That's correct.
And then you came back, and the day after, you had a massive trigger. You started drinking again. We spoke just on the phone a few days ago just to set this up, make sure you're okay with everything, you're comfortable, and kind of give you an idea of what we're going to do. I think we spoke on Monday. Since Monday, have you drank?
No.
Okay. How come? And well done, by the way. The work is done. Congratulations. Hey, high five, Scotty.
Hey.
Quickest, cheapest
Yeah.
We
didn't. Yeah, we just had to talk on the phone. That was it. I don't know what it was. Yeah.
Didn't even need to do any work. It's all done. It's all cleared. So I'm genuinely curious, though. What's happened? Because we didn't do any hypnosis. It was just setting this up. If you were okay with it, and the process of Monday. Your friend was there as well on the phone. So I'm just curious, what happened since? And I didn't ask you not to drink as well. I didn't ask you.
No.
I specifically didn't ask you not to drink. And I know that there was a big trigger this week as well of an anniversary of your brother passing. So it was a tough week. So tell me, how come you didn't drink this week?
I basically, I went to work. The one spot that I do some motorcycle work out of, they will not allow me into that place if I even smell like mouthwash. They're very stern with me and my drinking. A lot of people in this area, I'm a bit of a figure in the area. Some people love me, some people hate me. It goes either way. You kind of
this feeling.
Yeah, when Scotty's not drinking, Scotty's an amazing person, but they call me Scotty 1 and Scotty 2 some days, and nobody likes Scotty 2.
It's like a Jekyll and Hyde, eh?
Yeah, and I figured I'd just kind of go to work once I'm busy and motivated. I started, doing my workout routine again, just at home. I started doing my meditations again, making my journals, my vision boards, and I put a lot of focus into that. I was out on some hikes and bike rides, and just trying to do anything to stop the craving. So I have to avoid pretty much a whole one side of this town,
Yeah.
because I will go in there, and it's always on my mind to just pick up one or two
triggers.
I figured it would be a good idea to do it to commemorate my brother. He would not want me like this. So I figured I'd stop completely on the anniversary, and then that way I'm not going to be triggered every anniversary to drink, because that was a trigger for me to drink. So I tried to kind of reverse it, and I'm going to try and do it a different route. And I went to an AA meeting, a Zoom AA meeting on that day. You know, and some of the meetings can be very, very triggersome as well. Especially, you know, I've been in and out of them for so long. The longest stint I did actually sober was about 3.5 months. And the reason for that was because I had done so much internal damage to my insides. They were basically shutting down. So I was pretty much forced not to drink or use any substances. And it was such a challenge being, you know, in the environment I was in. I don't know how I managed. I was going to a lot of meetings, and the person I was working for at the time was like, they were all well aware of my issue. I've made everybody well aware publicly on my Facebook page as well, of the struggles. I've documented it, and they would just work me. And I joined up in some mindfulness groups, and joined in and just started doing some studying when I got home, anything to keep me occupied.
Excellent.
It's just, that was it. And then I just said, fuck it. As soon as I started to feel better, pardon my language, as soon as I started to feel better, I just said, fuck it. And I started to hide the drinking at home. And then finally I just, you know, I ended up losing that job because of drinking at work.
All right. You know. So you're just giving me a whole lot of stuff. A couple of things really interesting that you said about AA meetings triggering people. And in hypnosis, in change work, one of the things we need to do initially is we need to set up the neurological pathway in your brain, i.e. the pathway of the addiction or whatever the problem is. An example of this is typically if I'm working with someone who's addicted to, say, alcohol, cigarettes, sex, porn, shopping, gambling, cocaine, speed, I would ask them typically not to do their drug of choice for about 24 hours before the session, because I want them coming in and I want that neurological pathway to be lit up. In layman's terms, I want them to be triggered. I want them to be jonesing. I want them to be like, oh, I really want that drug right now. In the old days, when I'd work with somebody who's addicted to anything, I'd let them do their drug of choice. Let's say nicotine, for example, cigarettes, all the way up to the session, our first session begun. They'd come through the doors and I'd ask them on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being high, 0 being low, how much do you want to smoke now, drink now, whatever? And they'd always say, well, Luke, it's a 0 because I just smoked, I just drank, I just used. To which I'd say, well, how the hell are you going to know this shit worked? If you came in at a 0 and we've done nothing, how are you going to know it's worked at the end of the session? They're like, good point. So what I realized is I'd always require people not to do their drug of choice for at least 24 hours before. So when they come in, they're like, I haven't used for a while. So that pathway is in your mind is lit up being like, I want it, I need it, I desire it. So I'm curious for you right now, on the scale of 0 to 10, 10 being like, Luke, if you were here in person, I'd rip your arm out for a drink. 0 being, I have absolutely no sensation, no thought, no emotion, no craving or desire for alcohol right now. Where are you honestly right now?
I'm well over a 10.
Thank you.
All I can think about. It's been on my mind. I've been up since 5:30 this morning, and have been triggered. Everything I'm making, I believe I'm making everything a trigger. everything I used to do. Like I was going to cut the lawn. You know, I'm like, oh, I can't cut the lawn without having a couple beers. I can't clean the shed. I can't do, you know, I can't do anything without drinking.
Yeah.
I'm
Right,
grateful that
sometimes I'm going to interrupt you when you're talking, because as soon as I get the information that we need, we're going to get on to the next part. And by the way, this is the last time, when we're done with this particular bit of the conversation, this is the last time we ever fucking talk about your addiction anymore. We're getting to the business of dealing with it. So this is why I'm letting you unload right now. Get it all out, because this ain't AA, this ain't NA, this ain't counseling, this ain't psychotherapy. Once this story's done and you put it out there, we ain't ever talking about it again. But you did say some really interesting thing about AA really triggering you. And I never thought about it to that moment. I have a few issues with AA, but interesting, when you think about it, and from speaking with you and other people, you go to a meeting, whether it be in person or it be virtual, and it triggers people. And it triggers people because they're hearing other people saying that they have fallen off of the wagon. They're in that environment where statistically most of the people are not doing too well at these places. They're in a desperate place, and you're going there in a vulnerable state. You're going there very suggestible, as we'd say in hypnosis. And yeah, there'll be a few people that will be doing great, which is amazing. But statistically, most people in that are going to be struggling hard. And it always reminds me of, like, it's like prisons, right? And rehabilitation of people coming out of prison and never ever committing another crime again is a tiny, tiny amount. Because you might get someone who did something, a misdemeanor, like stealing a loaf of bread or some milk, or something where, yeah, they were wrong, but it was a small level crime on the scale of crime. Yet they're in a prison, they're in a jail with rapists, murderers, violent offenders, and they're there for a period of time. And all they're learning is how to be better criminals and lifetime criminals. For me and many of these groups, even though I think they're well-meaning to begin with, AA, I believe, was created in the 30s or 40s. So this technology that they're using is about 80 years out of place. And it keeps people stuck in that mindset of triggering them. So oftentimes when I'm working with someone over addiction, and it's always their decision, I never tell someone to do this, but I often strongly recommend that they stop being on these Facebook groups for addiction or specific meetings for a period of time while we're working together, so I can know that the work that we're doing is clean and it's not being tampered with something that may be well-meaning like AA or a group, but oftentimes it's a bunch of people whinging and complaining about how tough their life is and pour me another drink. Rather than, now, if there was a group where we had 100 people who are addicted to alcohol who have not been, they overcame it. It's been 5 years. They're living amazing lives. And you're around 100 people like that. That's an amazing group to go to, because they're people that have overcome it. They're doing really well. Beautiful, beautiful beacon of hope right there. But this is not how most of these groups are created. So it was interesting about the actual groups triggering you. When we work together at the beginning, the purpose of me is to do a little trigger to set up the neurological pathway. But other than that, it's not to hammer in. The trigger's there. We don't need to hammer in with stories of addiction. It's just about doing the work to clear your path. You also said something very interesting. This week being the anniversary of your brother passing, it's 5 years, is it?
And that's correct, yeah.
Yeah, this is a huge trigger for you, where in the past, this trigger used to be everything about you reaching for drinks. And I know when we spoke the other day, you're like, Luke, I'm going to drink. I'm going to drink today. You know, it's the anniversary of my brother. And again, I didn't tell you not to, because we were just having a chat. It's never my job to tell you what to do, just give you suggestions. So every road into the problem, every trigger is also the road out of the problem. Whereas in the past, you know, as much as you love your brother, you use that as an excuse. Use it as an excuse to kind of numb yourself, I imagine, to the pain of the loss of your brother, right? You had a good reason. You had a good excuse to drink on that day. And that's the trigger, the road into part of the problem for you, one of the triggers. However, you turned that trigger around and you said, instead, and I didn't ask you to do this, but you were wise. You said, instead of this being about being a trigger, and your camera's off, by the way, There you are. There you are. Instead of it being like, let me drink and numb myself to the pain today, you're like, all right, without me telling you, you realize that's the road into the problem, but the road out, you reframed it in your brain. The road out is, yeah, my brother passed away. It's really tough. And I'm going to honor him. I'm going to honor his memory, and I'm going to use that pain, and I'm going to do something good for me that he'd be proud of, but more importantly, that I'm going to be proud of, and my daughter will be, as opposed to let me just numb myself to this pain like I've done for 5 or so years. So every trigger, every road into the problem is actually even the road out. So without me having to tell you that, I started to do that. So that's amazing. So tell me, on an average day, and we're going to get into the work in a minute, but on an average day, prior to the last 3 days, how much would you be drinking on an average day?
Absolutely anything and everything I could get my hands on, to the point where, you know, you'd either run out of money or you'd have to take it, you know, and sometimes it got as bad as the mouthwash. I would say anywhere from 8 to, 15 drinks a day.
Yeah. And I know that you've tried many creative ways of drinking as well, like hairspray. I haven't heard that one before. And mouthwash. So, did you spray it? I guess you just spray it into your mouth. I don't know.
I tried. I know. I didn't know either. I just knew that it had alcohol in it, and it was basically through. I just tried mixing it. With any, like, I can't remember. I think it was like Coke or like Diet Coke. I don't know. It was horrible. So I don't recommend it to anybody.
pretty fucking extreme, yeah. So,
yeah.
Okay. So about 15 drinks a day. What is your ultimate drink of choice? If it was there right now, what's your ultimate drink of choice? If you could only drink one.
I would do probably a 40 or 60 of Scotch, or rum.
Okay.
Vodka. I like it all.
Yeah. And what does? Yeah. Okay.
In the mornings, I would have Caesars. Like, I would down the Caesars or the vodka sodas, just because it was really easy to get 2 or 3 into you really, really quickly. And then that would sort of get me through till mid-afternoon, and then I would be sneaking away, having more anywhere in the bathrooms or just wherever.
Okay. So I think we get like a good thumbnail sketch of where you're coming from, and let me. Oh, your camera's gone again.
This is me. I'm just trying because it rang through again. I don't want to have it. I don't know why it's on silent mode. It's on do not disturb.
Do not disturb. Okay. Switch off. Are you on an iPhone?
It's not. It's Android.
All right. So I can talk from an iPhone, but yeah, go to the settings in the Android equivalent and maybe just switch off the phone little button there.
Yeah, it's calls. Have it on silent mode, vibrate in silent mode. Shit. But yeah, I'm not too sure.
All right. So yeah, between now and next time, check that out, because when we get into deep eyes closed stuff, there's nothing worse than your mum calling you in the middle of deep hypnosis.
And I've tried to tell everybody. I've blocked everything. Like, everybody knows this is going on. This is huge for me. Huge.
So let's. I want to give you a first tour. Right? And ultimately, what's your goal? Before, because I know where you're at. You were drinking at least 15 drinks a day. Actually, let me ask you one more thing before we get into just like Columbo. So far right now, give me in bullet points. How much has this cost you? And give it to me in money. Give it to me in emotions, jobs, relationships, being a dad, girlfriend, cars. What? Give it to me. Tell me everything that you know it's cost you so far up to this point to do this thing called alcohol.
Uh, you couldn't put a number on it. Couldn't, like, I've lost two houses. I haven't had a license for the last going on 6-7 years now. I had boats, cars, trucks, jeeps, everything all at the same time. Traveled, so relationships, everything has been completely, utterly destroyed. So I could not put an actual dollar figure on it. I've literally have lost everything every single time I drink. Anything and everything you have will be stripped of you.
And when we talked the other day, you were telling me, like, roughly, refresh my memory, how much you would spend on an average week on alcohol. How much? Do you remember? I can't remember what the number was. I did the math on average week.
It worked out to about 56,000 a year.
All right, 56,000, and that's just for 1 year. That's not the whole lifetime of the problem. That's your 38.
That's just buying it.
Yeah.
My birthday's coming up on the 14th.
And you started drinking when you were 13. Probably what, 58 grand, 56, 58 grand when you were 13. But that's hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? So far, just forget about emotions, forget about the stuff that really matters. But as far as actually just buying the alcohol, not losing the jobs, the cars, the boats, the relationships, but just actually purchasing it, not even counting the missed opportunities, but just counting how much you've spent on it, probably over $500,000, probably, if I'm doing the math quickly inside my head.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. Wow. And you were telling me about your health issues. Tell me a little bit more about what's going on in your body, what your doctor said when we chatted the other day on the phone.
So there's, I've had, gastro issues, major ones. I'm still working through those. Lots of clots and clotting. The most recent being one on my left lung. There's been stints where it's got to the point where you had to start thinking about like dialysis and just it's that I've lost a ton of weight, and my weight fluctuates immensely. So I was up to my heaviest at about 225. I'm about a 5'11", and I dropped to 143, I believe it was, or 147. And now I think and feel I'm a healthy 167. I'm the only one that the nurses, I was like proud I put on that weight when she weighed me. She's like, "Oh, you're 163 or whatever." And I'm like, "Oh, nice." And she's like, you're the only one that has not put weight on during COVID. You're the only one that's proud of putting weight on during COVID.
Yeah.
But it's caused a lot of health issues as well. Yeah.
So all attributed to drinking.
Correct.
Tell me, you said something to me the other day about seeing your doctor and him saying if you continue to drink, what happened there? Tell me that story.
Actually, funny enough, one of the clinics that's who was ringing in. This was about a month ago. He's like, "Dude, you won't make it. It's killing you. It's going to kill you, and you will not have a long time to live if you keep this up the way you're keeping it up." And I didn't listen to him. And I went on another massive bender. I didn't believe him, and it landed me right in the hospital.
Wow.
Yeah, that was like 3 weeks ago.
And you told me so the other day, and mate, I want to make sure I'm right on this. Didn't your doctor say give you a life expectancy? Like not just if you continue to do this, you're going to die at some point. We're all going to die. And when people hear that, they keep pulling it off into the future. Well, everyone's going to die at some point. This is life. But he gave you a time frame, right?
Clearly, it may be between 6, 8 to 12 months, roughly, if I keep going the way I'm going to go.
This is pretty fucking serious.
Yeah.
6 to 12 months. All right. So we know enough of your story. So if anyone thinks this guy is a stooge or an actor, fucking look into his eyes. You know, some people do. They think like, oh, well, he's just made up, or they're just friends or in cahoots. And some people they are the way that they are. So
my biggest thing is I just want my daughter. Like I really want to see my daughter and my health back. And yeah. So yeah, it's not a joke.
It's not a fucking joke. It's life or death.
Yeah.
So we know where you are. Last question before we get into it. You mentioned a little bit. Where do you want it to be? How do you want this to be? What do you want in its place? Addiction disappears. It's gone. It no longer hurts you. You're free. The handcuffs and shackles are gone. It's gone. What do you want that's positive in its place?
Love, and to feel the love again.
Feel love from others, from yourself?
Both.
Okay.
I'm just getting rid of being able to just, have my mind at ease, not thinking. So peacefulness, I guess, and love. And I want a life. I want a life back. I love relationships and traveling and, family, very family oriented. And the motivation that I had, and just not being able to just want to be loved.
Yeah. And I'm guessing that I can pretty much hallucinate, and I think I'd be right on this. There are a lot of fucking people that love you. And that isn't the issue. That's not the issue, is it? The issue is you don't feel it because you don't think you're good enough.
Yeah, I can't stop thinking of it.
Yeah.
And it's got complete control of my mind right now.
Excellent. So you ready to get rid of this shit? You ready to do some work?
Yes,
remember Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone? He used to turn that cap back. Remember the arm wrestling movie with Sylvester Stallone? Yeah. That meant he's fucking ready. He's ready to do some work here. So, close your eyes right now. It's been at least 3 days since you drank.
That's correct.
And as you think about drinking right now, you focus on that 3+ days that you haven't drank. On a scale of 0 to 10, how much do you want to drink right now?
10.
Open your eyes. Just do this with me. Take your right hand and just start tapping the top of your head, the crown of your head, and just say after me, I release and let go my urge to drink.
I release and let go my urge to drink.
Between your eyebrows, I'm letting go of my urge to drink.
I'm letting go of my urge to drink.
Right temple, drinking doesn't do anything for me anymore.
Drinking doesn't do anything for me anymore.
Underneath the eye, it just numbs me from all of my feelings, including love.
It just numbs me from all of my feelings, including love.
Solar plexus, so I can find other ways to process my emotions.
So I can find other ways to process my emotions.
And to let go.
And to let go.
And to heal.
And to heal.
Left palm facing the sky. Grab your left wrist where you wear a wrist watch. Squeeze your left wrist. Look at your left hand like it's the most curious left hand you've ever seen in the world. Keep looking at your left hand as you squeeze that wrist. Then go ahead and take a nice big deep tummy breath in as you keep looking at your palm of your hand. As you fill your lungs, hold it for a moment. Hold the breath. And slowly, deliberately take twice as long to slowly breathe all the way out. Let go of your hands, shake it. Look right here. Close your eyes. It's been about 3 days or so since you drank. And I know you can still think about it. It's not your thoughts in and of themselves that hurt you. It's the emotions that attach to it. On a scale of 0 to 10 right now, where's the urge gone now to drink? Honestly, 0 to 10, the urge.
4.
Open your eyes. It's weird, isn't it? Just did tap in some silly points. Like a child, this shouldn't work. All right, let's get rid of it a bit quicker right now. So this is an emergency back pocket Swiss Army knife tool that you can use in the moment to start to gain control of your cravings. All right. So I'm going to start. I'm going to now, because we've heard your story. It's the last time we talk about it right now. We've got a good 45 minutes of your story out there. We're no longer talking about it. Now we're into the work. So I want to give you back pocket tools that you can use in the real world, and then put a cherry on top of the sundae with the hypnosis at the end. All right. So what I want you to do now is we're going to do it even quicker. Grab your right hand, start tapping the top of your head. Say after me, I'm letting go of my urge to drink.
I'm letting go of my urge to drink.
Between the eyebrows. It doesn't protect me anymore.
It does not protect me anymore.
Right temple. It stops me from feeling love.
It stops me from feeling loved.
Underneath your eye. It's destroyed my life.
It has destroyed my life.
Up to this point. Up to this point.
Up to this point.
And I'm not going to let it destroy anymore.
And I'm not going to let it destroy anymore.
Solar plexus. I can find better ways to deal with my trauma.
I can find better ways to deal with my trauma.
To let it go safely and healthy.
To let it go safely and healthy.
And I'm doing that now.
And I'm doing that now.
Even though this might feel a bit weird.
Even though this might feel a bit weird.
Left palm facing up to the sky. Look at your left palm like it's the most interesting palm that you've ever seen in your life. Grab your left wrist where you'd wear a wristwatch. Squeeze it. Look at the palm. Keep looking at your palm. Take a nice big tummy breath in. Hold it. Take twice as long to slowly, deliberately breathe all the way out. Take out your hands when you've done that. Look right here. Close your eyes. Open up that memory right now. It's been at least 3 days since you drank. It was a 10 earlier today when we began this. I know you can still think about it, but understand it's not the thought that hurts you. It's the emotions and stuff that's attached to it, which we're getting rid of, we're clearing, we're processing now. You'll always be able to think the thought. You could think terrible thoughts now, becoming a serial killer, but you would never do it. It's not the thought that hurts, it's the emotions that attach to it. You could think the most dark thoughts in the world, but if you had no emotion attached to any of those thoughts, it wouldn't bother you. The thought doesn't hurt you, it's the emotions, the unprocessed emotions that attach to it. Knowing that now, as you imagine now, it's been, well, it has been, that's right, 3 days as your eyelids flicker. It's been at least 3 days since you last drank. On a scale of 0 to 3, where's that craving, desire, urge gone right now, honestly?
0.
Come on. Really? You know they're going to think this is set up.
And no, I've just focused on the emotion part, and everything attached to it is it's like it's 0. I don't have any cravings at this time.
Beautiful. But you know what? I want you to try really hard now to bring that desire to drink back. It's been 3 days. You've had traumas, anniversaries this week. Try really hard to get back the craving, the urge, not the thought. Again, the thought ain't what hurts you. It's the emotions. And as you try really hard, and this ain't a game or a trick I'm trying to do with you, I'm actually asking you to really do it. And as you focus on the 3 or so days now that you haven't drank for, that was a 10 when we started today, honestly, where's the craving or urge gone right now?
I don't have one. I don't have a craving for it right now.
All right, last time, try really, really, really hard to get the craving back. Try really hard to get the craving back. And notice this. Notice that the harder you try in vain to get that craving back, the more impossible it becomes. But really give it a good attempt now to try and bring it back. And the stronger you do that and give it a good old try, it's not a trick, I do want you to try, but notice the harder you try, the more impossible it becomes. Where's that urge gone now, Sky? And you can see. I just like a one, really. It's just a one. That one, yeah, I'm curious. You're doing great, by the way. How do you know it's a one? Is it something you see, something you feel, a sensation, something you feel? All right, point to where that one is. Point to where that one is. It will probably be in your torso, either your head, probably your chest or your tummy, I'm guessing. But point to where it is. Point to where the one is. It's solar plexus, eh? Yeah. So what I want you to do right now, that's right. Get that right hand. Put it on your solar plexus like it just was. Imagine there's that one there. That feeling, that sensation of that one there. Everything that one represents 100% of the problem. That one unit represents 100% of the problem. You see, what's the old quote? The quote is, 100 drinks is not enough, but one is one too many. So realize that one represents everything now. So what I want you to do is just gently massage clockwise that solar plexus. Yeah, beautiful. And as you do that, just breathe into your belly, nice and deep. And at some point, and I don't know when, because this is you, this is your life, this is your body. But at some point, you're just going to know that that one has completely gone to a zero. And when you know, and only when you know, not when I tell you, because this is you, but when you know you've massaged that one to a zero and it's gone, you're going to nod your head, let you know, in no uncertain terms.
Yep.
Tell me what's going on for you right now inside.
Just eyes closed, and just all the bad things that alcohol has taken from me, and has still to this very moment, and will take from me. Yeah, and that's it's brought back it brought back just touching it is going to cause many problems over and over and over again, just like you back to the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and trying to get a different result. Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah,
we haven't even started the hypnosis yet. There you go. That back pocket tool, you can use it for anything. I'm going to send you some videos. I think I might have already sent it to you, but I'll send it to you again. But it's really simple. What I want you to do is a minimum 5 times a day. But as much as you need to use it, it's a back pocket tool, right? And you can use this for anything, any emotions around it, anxiety, sadness, intrusive thoughts, addiction, whatever it is, anything you don't want. How you begin, as you say, on a scale of 0 to 10, how strong is this sensation, this thought, this feeling? You get a number. And then essentially all you do is get your right hand, you tap about 6 to 10 times on the crown of your head. And essentially I release and let go. You can throw your own verbiage in there as well, but essentially I release and let go of X. Then between your eyebrows is the second place. I release and let go of X. Then your right temple, I release and let go of X. That's the third place. Underneath your eye, I release and let go of X. Solar plexus, number 5, I release and let go of X. And the 6th one is just to hold all the meridian points around the wrist. You're squeezing it. You have that focal awareness of your eyes, looking at the palm of your hand. Take a big deep breath in. And then you breathe out. And then you test. You see where it's gone. Typically, either one of 3 things happens. It either completely goes. Beautiful. You're done. Get on with your day. Second thing is it drops drastically, but there's still a number or so on the chart. Do another couple of rounds to it. So it goes to 0. Worst case scenario, it might only drop by 2 points. Guess what? Still dropped. Just do another few rounds of it. And what this starts to do is it starts to process the emotions using acupressure points in your body. Comes from energy psychology. And in energy psychology, a lot of people, the theory behind it is emotions are trapped in the body. And there's dysregulations when we feel sadness, when we have addictions, anxiety, fear, anything that's negative. There's been some disruption in it. And by talking about it doesn't really help for most people most of the time. But actually physically doing stuff, hitting these acupressure points, disperses that energy. Because all it is energy. It's not good or bad. It feels certain ways. Doesn't necessarily always feel pleasant. But once it has an ability to no longer be blocked, it passes through the body, and oftentimes it resolves the issue. That's not all we're going to do, but that's your back pocket tool. That's your starter. That's your hors d'oeuvre, if you will. So what we're going to do in a moment is I'm going to explain it to you. I'm going to demo it to you. You don't have to do anything but watch. And then I'm going to coach you through it yourself. So don't worry about, oh, what did he do? What, blah, blah. Let me show you it. Then I'm going to coach you through it, all right? So you've tried consciously to fix this issue with alcohol many times, right? You've talked to people about it, counselors, rehabs. You've tried a lot of methods. True or false?
True. Very
and
true.
Is it fair to say up to this point, it hasn't worked because you're here and you're still drinking?
Exactly.
So only an idiot would keep pushing a door that you need to pull. Not that you're an idiot, but respectfully, consciously, you've tried consciously, intellectually to fix this and it hasn't worked out so well. So it would make absolutely no sense to keep going down the same path that hasn't worked, thinking, well, maybe this time it will work. No, it hasn't. You've given it about 20 or 25 some odd years and it hasn't worked. So in a moment, I'm going to speak to your unconscious mind. Some people call it the subconscious mind, the monkey mind, the primal mind, the part of the mind that's responsible for beating the heart, for breathing into your lungs, for all of your patterns, for all of your behaviors, for all of your movements. I'm going to speak to that part of the mind because that's the part that controls all the emotions, all the traumas, the pattern called addiction and drinking for you. And it's going to speak to me. And it's going to speak to me through body movement. So in a few moments, not just yet, but in a few moments, I'm going to get, are you right or left-handed, by the way?
I'm right-handed.
Beautiful. So in a moment, not just yet, but in a moment, I'm going to get you to get your left hand and arm. And I'm going to make sure that your elbow is supported either on the chair or on your leg. So it's actually supported on something. And I'm going to have your hand, it's going to look like a swan or a cobra. So from the side, I'm going to get you to relax your hand. So this is me not relaxing my hand. See this tension? Here's me just relaxing that hand down. So it kind of looks like a swan head or better, a cobra. And it's going to be facing me like so. You don't have to do it right now. I'm going to walk you through it. Just work it right now. I love that you're eager though. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to not help me, not to play along, not to make this happen consciously, because we know if you could consciously fix this now, not that you're broken, but for want of a better metaphor, you would have done it by now. I'm going to ask that hand, that left hand, to twitch a finger, to twitch a thumb, all by itself. Now you'll be aware of it, you might see it, but I don't want you to consciously do it. But equally, I don't want you to prevent it from happening. Just let it happen or let it not happen. It doesn't matter, but you don't have to do anything. I'm faking this just for the sake of time. Your finger, a thumb will twitch. This is obviously fake, but you can't fake real twitch. Once that's done, I'm then going to ask your unconscious to take control of your left hand, your left arm, all the muscles, tendons in between. I'm going to ask for it to twist, turn, pivot, rotate that hand all the way to your face without you doing it deliberately. Now, you can watch it if you want, but if you think you're going to get in your own way, you can close your eyes. Once it's done that, I'm going to ask your unconscious to wave, give you a sign it's okay, it's safe. Typically, it might be a wave like that. Again, I'm deliberately doing it now. You won't. You're going to let it happen by itself. It'll be a little wave like that. And at the end, I'm going to ask your unconscious mind to, again, keep control, possession of your hand, your tendons, your ligaments, your muscles, your skeletal system, and twist, pivot, rotate that hand all the way back to the start. Your only job here, the only thing you have to do is just allow it to happen. Don't play along and consciously try and make it happen, but equally don't prevent it from happening. Just allow it to happen. What's your job?
Just to allow it to happen.
That's right. So one of three things is about to happen, Scotty. We get the twitch, we get the turn, we get the wave, we get the turn back. Excellent. I've learned how your mind works. Number two, it doesn't twitch, but you feel it twitch. It doesn't turn, but you feel it turn. It doesn't wave, but you feel it wave. It doesn't turn back, but you feel it turn back. Guess what? Excellent. I've learned a little bit better how your mind works. Or number three, there's no twitch, there's no turn, there's no wave, there's no turn back, and you don't feel it. Guess what? Excellent. I've learned a little bit more about how your mind works. You ready?
Yes, Luke.
Cool. So I want you to get your left hand, your left arm, plug that elbow into something sort of sturdy. And then just completely relax that hand so your fingertips are facing me. There's no tension, so not like this, like that. And have those fingers facing me. View, that's great, great. And Scotty, in a moment, if it's okay with you, respectfully, I don't mean to be rude or anything, but I'm going to ignore you. And I'm going to specifically be speaking to your hand. It's going to be a bit weird and strange, I know. From time to time, I'm going to check in with you. I'm going to say, Scott, are you okay? Are you all right if we continue? And you're going to tell me, you'll be able to communicate with me. But for now, if it's okay with you, I'm going to be a bit rude and ignore you and speak to your hand. Is that okay with you?
Yes,
Excellent.
absolutely.
And I want you just to make sure that those fingers, even though your hand's starting to turn by itself, right now, that's right. Already have those fingers facing me to begin with. Beautiful. I'm speaking to you now, Scotty's unconscious mind. I want you to take control of that left hand, that left forearm, that left shoulder, that left bicep and tricep. That's right. Take control of all the muscles, the skeletal system in between. And once you've done that, give me a signal, or give Scotty a signal by twitching one of his fingers completely unconsciously outside of his conscious awareness. That's right. Scotty, did you feel that?
My index finger.
Your index finger, lovely. So what I'm going to get, and you can still stay in this light form of hypnosis now, I'm just going to get you maybe to adjust your camera a little bit so I can see your fingertips a bit clearer. Or make your hand just a little bit higher, just so I can see, like you can see my hand here, I can see about that much of it. That would be great. I want to make sure I don't miss a thing. Beautiful, lovely. And respectfully, are you okay if we continue?
Absolutely.
I'm going to ignore you now anyway. Speak with your hand. Great. Speaking to Scotty's unconscious mind now. Take full possession, full control of that hand, that wrist, those tendons, those ligaments, and I want you to slowly, that's right, twist, turn, rotate, pivot that hand, that wrist, those fingertips, all the way around till you're facing Scotty's face. That's right. Take possession now of more of the tendons, more of the ligaments. That's right. More of the muscles, and start to twist it in jerky motions all the way around now, even quicker than that, until you're facing Scotty's face totally and completely. That's right. You're very powerful. You're the part of the mind that beats the lungs. You're the part of the mind that keeps Scotty breathing when he sleeps. Because if he slept, if he breathed consciously, he'd go to sleep every night and he'd be dead by now. But luckily, you keep him breathing when he's sleeping. That's right, all the way around, twisting, turning, pivoting, rotating, all the way around now. So if you can do that, you can sure as heck now, and I know you can do it. Bring that hand all the way around. That's right. Very, very good. Scotty, I'm speaking to you now. Can you hear me? Are you doing this to play along and make me happy? Are you playing along right now and just deliberately doing this?
No.
Honestly?
Honestly.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Keep doing what you're doing. Nothing. Just allow it to happen. You're doing great, by the way. Scotty's unconscious and speaking to you. I want to thank you, by the way. I want to thank you for opening up this line of communication between you and I and Scotty today. I know you've got a lot of things to do, and I appreciate you taking the time out to communicate. I don't take this for granted, and I appreciate and I respect you. And listen, I know you're the part of the mind, the part of the body that controls everything. I know you're the part that controls his heart, that controls his breathing, all of his thoughts, all of his feelings, his body movement, digestion, the endocrine system, all of his patterns, all of his beliefs, all of his emotions, all of his memories. I know how powerful you are. So thank you for gracing us with your presence today. And I just wondered if it would be okay for you just to put Scotty's mind at ease and show him that you're there to help, you're here to help, you're on the same side, and just wave, give him a little wave to let him know everything's going to be okay. Scotty, did you do that deliberately to make me happy, to play along here? Honestly?
No, but it was sort of it was kind of strange.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it was very strange.
You're doing great, by the way. Keep doing what you're doing. Nothing. Just allow it to happen. I'm going to ignore you a bit more now. Scotty's unconscious mind. Thank you so much for putting Scotty's mind at ease and showing him you're here in peace. Not that you're an alien or anything, but sometimes it can feel like you're an alien because maybe he's never spoken to you before. But again, I really appreciate speaking with you. I wonder now if you can keep control, keep possession of that hand, that wrist, those tendons, those fingers, that muscular system, and start to pivot, turn, rotate, twist that hand all the way back to the start position. So it's facing me, it's facing that camera. That's right. Very good. Scotty, how you doing? You doing all right?
Yeah.
And now you're not hypnotized, are you?
No, I don't think so.
So what does it feel like, this hand twitching and moving, honestly?
The wave got me. The wave got me.
That's right.
Yeah, it's a beautiful. It's weird. It's weird but beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah, the wave was something else. I didn't expect that.
Cool. So Scott, if I could get you just to adjust your camera again or your hand, just so I can see it, see your fingertips and so forth in the camera, because I can only see your index finger. Beautiful, lovely. And I'm going to respectfully ignore you. Are you okay if we continue, by the way?
Yeah, please.
Cool. Good. Close your eyes. Keep your hand where it is. Scotty's unconscious mind now. Speaking to you again now. I want to thank you for communicating again, and I really do appreciate it. I don't want you to think I've taken you for granted in any way, shape, or form. Thanks for being here today. And I just want to have a chat with you today, and I just want to understand you a bit more. So I'm going to ask you a few questions, and they're just going to require yes or no answers. So I want to make sure that I'm communicating with you directly. If I were to ask you a question, Scotty's unconscious, and the answer was yes, how would you show me yes? Which finger would you twitch or thumb, or how would you rotate or twist the hand? Show me how you would tell me the answer is yes to something. That little thing. Did you feel that, Scotty? That was your little finger coming up. Did you raise that deliberately? Just
no. It just no.
You're doing great. Keep doing what you're doing. Absolutely nothing. So thank you, Scotty's unconscious for. So we know the yes is raising the little finger. Very much appreciate it. Now the next thing I need to know is if I'm asking you a question and the answer is no, it's truly no, N-O, how would you signal to me that the answer is no, so I wouldn't get confused? How would you show me the answer is no? What finger would you twitch? How would you rotate the wrist or the hand? How would you show me no? Answer no. Index finger just twitched, didn't there? Did you feel that, Scotty?
I did,
Excellent.
yeah.
Well, did you feel the index finger as well? It's a very small movement, but that's good. Great.
Yeah, I felt it. I felt it here for sure.
I'm just going to get you again to just adjust that camera if you can, or your hand. So I just want to make sure it keeps dropping a little bit. So just, yeah, whether it's your hand adjust or the camera, just so I can see this much at all times. That's beautiful. I'm going to respectfully ignore you right now. Scotty's unconscious mind. Thank you so very, very much. You've communicated that your answer yes is a twitch of the little finger, and the answer no is a raising the twitching of the index finger. Thank you so very much. Scotty's unconscious mind. Is it okay if me and you have a chat right now? Yes or no? Thank you. Thank you very, very much. It is okay. Scotty has told me that he's having some issues, or had some issues around alcohol. Is it okay if we have a little chat? Thank you so much. Did you feel that, Scotty?
Yeah.
Are you doing that to be a people pleaser and make me happy? And is it because you think I just...
No,
Honestly?
not at all.
Cool.
Absolutely.
You're doing exactly what you should be doing. Just allow it. Great. So Scotty's unconscious mind, again, I really do appreciate you opening up and opening up this line of communication with us today. And I do hope that we become friends and we're going to communicate more, me and you and Scotty. The reason that you've caused Scotty to drink so much over the last some odd years, does that pattern, I'm just curious, I don't know, but is that pattern, is that addiction, is that behavior, does that have anything to do with protecting Scotty on some level, yes or no? It's a very small lift of your little finger. Do you feel that? Did you feel that, Scotty?
Yeah.
Good.
It's sort of hovering. Like it just kind of feels like it's, I don't know. It sort of, I don't know. It wants to move, but I don't know if
It moved. It did perfectly. You're doing great. Thank you. I'm going to respectfully ignore you now and speak to your unconscious. It's great. And the good thing about it is you can fake finger moves all day. You can't fake a twitch. Trust me, I've tried. I'm a weird kind of guy with a lot of time in his hand. You can't fake a twitch if it's possible. Thank you. Scotty's unconscious mind. Thank you so very much. Is there I'm just curious. I'm not asking you to do anything. Scotty's unconscious. I'm just asking a question. That's all, just to understand you a bit more. Is there another way that you can allow Scotty to feel safe and protected that has nothing to do with drinking and nothing to do with any other kind of addiction whatsoever? Yes or no? Did you feel that, Scotty?
no.
Okay. It's a little hovering of your little finger. That's fine. It's a small movement. That's fine. You're doing great. So I wonder now, Scotty's unconscious mind, if you could go ahead and do the work on the inside, if you could go ahead and do the work on the inside, just like Scotty doesn't have to consciously tell you to breathe, you breathe for him. Just like he doesn't have to consciously tell you to digest his food or send hormones through the body when he needs to have more strength or more speed. You just do it because you're in control. And in the way that you do stuff below the surface the whole time, go ahead now, do whatever you need to do. Scotty's unconscious on the inside now to resolve those issues now. To allow any of the reason, any of the issues that cause him to drink to be resolved now. Take all the time you need to do that now. And when you're done, when you've cleared it, honestly, just give me the yes signal. That's right. Scotty, did you feel that?
I did, yeah.
What did you feel?
It's still like it still wants to pull up more.
That's
Like
great.
yeah.
You're doing perfectly. Keep doing what you're doing. Nothing. Just allow it to happen. Scotty's unconscious mind. Between now and the next week, when me and Scotty do another session, can you turn down, dial down, lever down all of the triggers, any and all triggers that in the past had everything to do with Scotty drinking, whether they be people, places, shocks, memories, patterns, whatever they are, you're in control. Could you just dial it all the way down, all those triggers now, just for the next week? Could you, just merely could you do that, yes or no? No, thank you, thank you. Scotty, did you feel that?
Yeah.
That's interesting, because a lot of people will go, oh, he's playing along, he's playing along. But if he's playing along, he wouldn't have lifted up his nose finger to doing the work there. So thank you, that's great. That's great. Thank you. You keep doing what you're doing, doing great. Do nothing. Just allow it to communicate to me directly, doing perfect. Thank you, Scotty's unconscious mind, for communicating. And listen, understand, I'm not telling you to do this. I'm not even asking you to do it. I'm just asking if it's possible, if it's just merely possible that it could happen, yes or no. And Scott is unconscious. I just want you to make sure that that signal is big enough, but authentic enough that you're controlling it, that I can see it clearly and Scotty can feel it clearly. So make those movements bigger, but let it be an automatic movement below the conscious awareness. Just let me know if you can do that. Yes or no. Thank you. Scotty's unconscious mind now. Again, I'm going to ask that question again. I'm not asking you to do this, right? I'm not asking you to do it. I'm just asking if the mere possibility of dialing down those triggers, if there's a possibility that you could do it if you chose to do it. Could you do it if you chose to do it? Yes or no? No. Okay. Thank you so very, very much. Now, is it? I'm just curious. Is it a no? You don't want to do it, or a no? You can't do it. So I'm going to ask: is it a no? You just don't want to do it? No. Is it a no? You don't think you can't do it? Okay. Thank you so much. So the interesting thing is, in the same way that you created this problem on some level, you can also uncreate it. In the same way that I know how powerful you are. You've kept Scotty alive for 38 years. If he had to think about every meal that he had and the digestive process from as soon as he takes a bite of food, what has to happen until it comes out the other end? There's a certain amount of complicated, complex secretions of body digestion, hormones, and digestive fluid that happens, many, many steps. If Scotty had to focus on that consciously, he'd only have a couple of bites of food a day because it would take all day to think about, oh, I'm going to release this digestive enzyme and I'm going to pass that piece of food down this valve. But luckily, Scotty just says he's hungry, takes a bite of food, and eventually you digest it and it comes out the other end. You do complex things all the time. You control all of these movements, all of these feelings, all of these patterns, all of these memories. Don't pretend with me. I know. I see you. I see you. I know how powerful you are. So I'd like for that part, the part that doesn't believe that it can turn down these triggers, cravings, or urges. I'd like for a stronger part, a parental part inside Scotty to come forward now. I'd like for that parental part, that good part. Some people might call it a God part, a religious part. It may be a parent, but a part that's stronger, but in the form of goodness and positivity. A stronger part that has your back to come forward now. Take possession of that hand now. And I'd like for that part to heal the part that it doesn't believe can dial down these triggers. And I'd like for that bigger, stronger parental part to heal the part that doesn't believe it can dial it down now. To heal it now, totally and completely. Heal it now. And once that stronger part, that bigger part, has healed that part that didn't believe up until now it could dial down your triggers, just give me the yes signal and let me know when that's done, when that part's healed. Thank you. And parental part, I'm going to call you parental part, but all that means is you're a part that just represents total goodness, strong, more be a mentor, a very good part. Doesn't have to be a parent, just a name for it. I want to now, if that part, that parental part, that stronger part, if it had a name, what name would it be? It comes out of your mouth right now. First word, first name comes out of your mouth.
Bob.
Bob. Excellent. So Bob, if I need your help at any point in this process, I'm just going to call you Bob. Is that okay, Bob? And you can give me the yes, no signal with your hand. Very good. Thank you, Bob. Bob, please go back to whatever you were doing. I may call upon you a little bit later on. I want to now return it to the part now that has control of everything in Scotty's body. Now that you've been healed totally and completely, and if there's more healing that needs to go on, it will go on now. It will go on as you sleep tonight, healing you. But now do you have the ability to dial down those cravings? Though, thank you. That's right, you do. Bob's a good friend. Thanks, Bob. So go ahead now, dial down all the urges, all the triggers, all the memories, all the feelings, all the sensations from the past, the present, and the future. Dial them down now to a 0 now. All of them now. Take all the time you need to dial it down, all the triggers now. Unplug them, switch them off, dial them down, take the lever, do it all now. Take all the time you need to do that now, every last one, even that hidden one, that little back door one that's going to try and stay up, dial that one down as well now. Take all the time you need to do that now. And honestly, truly, when that's done, take it as much time as you want to do that now. When that's done, let me know with the yes signal. Very good. Very, very good. Again, I really appreciate you, Scotty's unconscious mind, working with me and Scotty here today. Listen, I know you're in control. I'm asking you to do things, and it's completely up to you whether you do them or not. I'm just merely suggesting. That's all I can do is suggest. But I don't want you to ever promise me, or more importantly, I don't want you to ever promise Scotty something that you have no intention of delivering, but you're just promising because you want to make us happy. I only want you to promise to do things that you're actually going to do. Is that clear with you, yes or no? Thank you. And I really appreciate this. I really appreciate us chatting here today and hopefully becoming friends and setting up this through line between you and I, this line between you and Scotty. I very, very much appreciate that. I really do. I really mean that. So what I want you to do now that you've dialed them all down to 0 now, I want you to lock them, glue them, stick them in place. Imagine you're at a TV studio, a radio studio, and there's those panels, there's those boards that represent the motherboards, the switchboards that represent all the sounds, all the visions, switches, buttons, faders, dials, knobs. And whatever you've dialed down, switched down, lever down, switched off, unplugged, those triggers gone now. Whatever you've done, make sure that they're glued, locked, stuck, bolted in place so they can never go up again. Glue them, stick them, bolt them in place at a 0 now so they could never go up again. Maybe you use super glue, maybe you use crazy glue, maybe you use bubble gum. You ever try to get bubble gum off of your trousers if you're in the cinema or a bus and you stuck down and it gets in there, you try and rip it, it never comes out. Do whatever you need to do. The only limitation is your imagination now to lock, glue, stick, bolt those levers, buttons, switch, knobs at a 0 now. That's right. There's a eyelid flitter as you do those searches inside and as you allow that work to happen now. And once they've all been locked, glued, stuck, bolted in place, now take that as a sign. Let me know the yes when that's done. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very, very much. And will you agree now that over the next week or until me and Scotty do our next session, do you agree to allow Scotty to have the best week possible, devoid of any of those old feelings, allowing him to start to feel a little bit more love, replacing the old thing that used to be there that's gone and kind of remember what it was now? Yes or no? Thank you. Very, very good. Very, very good. Scotty's unconscious mind, I very much, again, really, really do appreciate speaking with you here today. And I look forward to speaking with you more in the coming weeks and the work that we're doing. And again, thank you for taking the time. I have utmost respect for you. I know that you are truly running the show. So thank you for allowing me to have some time and communicate with me today, because I know you're a busy man. So what I want you to do now, Scotty's unconscious mind, is when this work is done for today, setting Scotty's week up in the way that he wants, allowing him to be free until we next talk, feeling amazing, feeling great. Then, and only then, allow that hand and arm to drift all the way down to Scotty's lap. And when that hand, those fingers touches the lap or the chair, Scotty will come back online. With all these changes, locked, glued, stuck in place, that Scotty will be back, terminating the trance for today, ready to enjoy the rest of his day. When that hand eventually drops, that's your sign and signal that the work is done for today. It is done. Scotty can go about his day doing whatever he needs to do and enjoying it with more love than he's ever had before, allowing himself to feel it. That's right. Take all the time in this process now. That's right. When you come back online and all this work's done, then and only then, you're going to open your eyes feeling like brand new, but you're in no rush.
Oh.
How's that, brother?
It was relaxing.
How did that feel, like the twitching and turning? Because you know a lot of people are playing along with that. They're not going to think it was real. Even though I've got other videos doing it, people are not going to think it's real.
The wave, it like that one got me, and then there was there was one of the questions, I can't remember which question it was, where I could feel it, like one wanted to come up, one, like the no would want to come up, but then it would just, there would be the other one that would sort of just go up. And
Okay.
I could feel them sort of like fighting between each other.
Because that's what it's like for you inside, right? It's been a battle up to this point. Unconsciously, subconsciously, you want to drink. You did, didn't you? But then consciously, you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want love. I want free. So it's a battle.
Yeah, and then it was just, and then it became, I was listening to your words, but I was putting my focus on, like, I just sort of got lost there for a second, where I was really wanting me to know what it was looking to do. And it was honestly like a fight between them. And yeah, it was really neat. It was really neat. The wave by far was the biggest flip out for me. That was. So
close your eyes. Proof of the pudding is in the tasting. That's right. All right, close your eyes. It's been at least 3 days. You were at 10 when you came in today. As you think about drinking now, it's been a week filled with anniversaries. Father passing away 5 years ago. Just come out of rehab. Well, you started drinking again after rehab. 16 days of that, day or so later. But realizing now you haven't drank for 3 days, and even though you can think before, but that thought becomes smaller and smaller and smaller, going behind you, black and white, shrinking, the more it comes, the smaller and less significant it becomes, now gone. But there's one last time, as you think about it now, honestly, where's the urge, the craving, the want, the desire to drink now, 0 to 10, honestly?
0.
Well, don't sound too happy about it. I can give you it back if you want. Do you want it back?
No, I was actually quite surprised.
I can put it right back if you want.
0. No, keep it. You know, I was very surprised. It was the 0. Very surprised.
So we're gonna put a time in the diary probably for next week. Say that again.
Yeah, no, I was just quite surprised. It was yeah.
I'm going to send you an email later on today. Basically, all I want you to do over the next week is I want you to do that tapping process, minimum 5 times a day, but as much as you want. You saw how powerful, how quick it is. Use it. If you forget how it works, I release and let go, release and let go, release and let go, release and let go, release and let go. Bang. Send you a video of it. And I want you to listen to, I've got 2 reports. I'm going to send you lots of recordings, but the 2 that are of utmost importance to listen to is one is called Orange Liquid, or Antivirus for the Mind. It's only 15 minutes long, and you just close your eyes whenever you can be uninterrupted, not operating cars or machineries for a good 15 minutes. And it works like an antivirus for the mind, for the body. So any negative suggestions, traumas, viruses, mind viruses you picked up in the day, it will nuke them, put them into quarantine, it will delete them. So I want you to do that. And there's another recording, it's a bit longer, it's about 45 minutes long, and it's called self-esteem. And I want you to listen to that ideally every day, but at least 3 times a week. Antivirus every day. And if you say, look, I've got no time, you can listen to it when you go to sleep and it still works. But ideally it's before you go to sleep, or sometime in the day. Tapping, minimum 5, Orange Liquid, Antivirus every day. And a self-esteem, you can listen to it every day, great. But if you want to have a break every other day and do it, you can as well. If you need anything between now and the time we're going to put in the diary in a minute, you just message me, let me know. Cool. Okay. Any questions about any of that stuff so far?
No, it's awesome, Luke, awesome.
Good stuff, buddy. So, hey, listen, how are you? I don't know, next Thursday, same Luke time, same Luke place, same Luke channel?
So far, so good.
Yeah, all right. So that'll be Thursday the 13th, 1 o'clock. And
That's a day after my birthday.
yeah, because you're a Taurus. Yeah, your birthday's on the 12th, right? So mine's on Saturday.
Mine's the 14th.
Okay, it's the day before. It's the day before your birthday. The day after. All right.
Yeah.
Very, very good. Do you know what was interesting? That your daughter's called Brooklyn. I have no kids that I'm aware of, but if I did have, that's in the short list of names. This is curious. I didn't know that was her name, by the way. So
Yeah.
That's cool. All right, buddy. So next Thursday, same week time, same week place, same week channel. If you need anything in the meantime, let me know. Otherwise, good shit, man.
Thanks, bro. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'll see you in a week. All right.
See you, Luke.
See you later. Always believe.
Cheerio.